You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an itch, man, I'm making. Oh, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the...
What's going on, YouTube? We have another Valencia Society interview. Chris from RPW, Ruthless Pro Wrestling. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Did you get what I told you? I told you dress appropriately today.
Yeah, I have the polo on. What are you talking about, Mike?
I got Detroit. Maybe this is up there. This is the Detroit. He's from Detroit.
What's wrong with the black
I
polo?
told you represent this guy. This is the top one of the top deathmatch promoters in the country. Definitely in the Midwest.
I know.
Show some respect to the guy. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? You want me to gusset plate him right now?
No.
So,
Put that down.
He's the one that's going to have to live with it.
Huh?
He's the one that's going to have to live with his mistake. Obviously, he's not a professional coming into this thing, and he wants to dress like this. Obviously you're dressed the nines,
right,
ready to go.
This is how I keep him in order.
Yeah,
with these gusset plates. Once I pull a gusset plate, he just runs.
I got to keep an eye on this guy.
He runs like
trying to set the house on fire. He's out of control.
He runs like a 1970s manager being chased.
Anyway, Chris, thank you for joining us today. We have a lot to talk about. We have a big tournament coming up, King of the Kill, August 12th, and we are excited about that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I'm very excited too. We've been working. This is our next show, but I've been actually working on this show for going on 7 months now, planning it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wow. What's the most complicated thing about these, like doing these things?
Oh, it's a lot of moving parts. It's not like a normal show where you plan out your matches and then you got your stories and whatnot. This is kind of like its own different flow. And I've always wanted to do a tournament. This is my first one. I've held off till I knew I could do it properly. And I knew now was the time, like before I just wasn't ready. I knew I wouldn't be able to do everything I wanted to do. And now I'm ready to go. I have the guys to do it. I have a great team behind me that can help me pull all this off. So yeah, now is the time.
I love tournaments.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's amazing. We want to start off with what got you into pro wrestling?
I was a kid of the 80s, so that was a big time, that was a big time of the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and all those guys. And, when I was just a little kid, I was just fascinated by it. I watched it when I was a little kid. And when I was a teenager, I kind of lapsed for a little bit because I got into like girls and all that and partying and not wanting to be at home to like catch wrestling and whatnot. And then after a while, I fell back into it, and I fell back into it pretty hard. And for a long time, I was a death metal singer, and I used to play around in these bands and all this. And, I got kind of too old for that. But I wanted to somehow still entertain. And while I was a singer, I was also a show promoter. I was putting on concerts and all that. So it gave me the foundation to know what it's like to prepare for a show, get all your ducks in a row, properly promote it, get good graphics, sound, all that. So when I fell headlong into wrestling, I started working with a local promotion here. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to give them the shine. And when I was working it, I really didn't like how things were running backstage. I didn't like how people were being treated. There was a lot of the guy who was running it, he would big ego and he would shit on people. And I was like, there's got to be like, this shouldn't be like this. So me and my friend left that promotion, and we were like, hey, let's do this ourselves, and let's do it the way we think it should be done. So we used the foundation, what we learned, palling around with all these indie companies. Like, I worked for a few different ones. I'd help set up, anything they needed, and I learned the groundwork that way. And then from my years of concert promoting, I kind of just collaborated that together. And my friend Mitch and I, who's no longer with the company, and nothing bad happened there. He just had a sickness in the family. He couldn't keep up with it. So I ended up taking it over. But we ended up just starting it up, and we wanted to be a place where people enjoyed working, that gives on a good product. And, the people that work here, they really love working here. Everyone gets taken care of. There's not a lot of drama. My locker room polices itself. You know, if a new guy comes in and they got an ego, they lose it pretty fast or they don't come back, you know, and it's been a great experience. You know, we grow leaps and bounds after every single show.
Yeah, not to mention names, but that happens actually. Like a guy will show up like you on his first show, and what would someone like that do? What would be an example of somebody ego?
I mean, it doesn't happen a lot. You'll find that deathmatch wrestlers are actually some of the nicest people in this business. Usually it's the non-deathmatch guys that do this, but it's like that prison mentality. You come in and you want to be the biggest dick in the yard, and you start a fight with the biggest guy because you're trying to prove, you know, and that flies in some promotions, but it just doesn't fly here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Before we continue, I do want to give a shout out to Joe Callis from Outlaw Mud Show. Great community, great group he has going on Facebook. What I like most about the group, there's no drama there. You know, we can say anything. Everyone just messes around. Positivity, not a toxic environment.
Yep, I hang out in there. I post stuff all the time in there.
Shout out to Joe Callis.
Wait, you're telling me that there's deathmatch Facebook sites that have a lot of drama and art?
Yeah, man, I mean,
and you mean like people are insulting each other?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it. You mean people too much?
People insulting each other, kicking off the boards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then arguing and
you can ask Chris.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
That shit doesn't happen on the internet. No one argues on the internet or talks shit. It's a very safe place to be.
It happens, but not on Outlaw Mud Show. Not on Outlaw Mud Show.
Oh, okay. But I've never seen. I've never heard of such a thing.
So you've been doing shows since 2020, I believe, correct?
Yes.
2020. What would you say your biggest challenge has been thus far?
Getting it out there to more people. You know, we started out very small. Like we started out doing shows in people's backyards during the pandemic. Because our first show was supposed to happen, and then the pandemic happened, and our show got canceled. But we had all these wheels of motion. So my buddy had a farm, and we threw a ring up. We spread people out because it was like almost like 180 acres. It was huge. And we just started palling around and doing shows. But, you know, as we've been growing, we get on WTV. We started moving around a little bit. We did Jersey. We've done Chicago a few times now, Indiana. But it's bringing what we do out to more people. You know, it seems like a lot of people are they're into what they're into, and they don't really watch everything, you know. So the biggest challenge has been like, you know, getting our product in front of people.
And that Jersey show, that's the one that was supposed to have Chris Bradley against Remington, I believe, right?
Yeah, Remington had a car accident on the way up, so.
Yeah. I was looking forward to that match. I was really looking forward to that match. Hopefully, we could run that back one day and, you know, have it on the show. But
it'll happen.
I really overall that was my first show that my first RPW show I watched, and what really got me was that intro. You had the helicopters. That was really cool. It was definitely different, and it really caught my attention. Honestly, I think out of that whole weekend, that's the show that really stuck out to me. And you use different guys. I really thought it was a great show, great product overall.
Yeah, we we use a lot of the key players, but we try to have our own flavor. And a lot of things I do is like I'll really look for underdogs I think have something, and I'll see what they can do, and I'll push them. So I like to think that we have our own voice in this. And as far as the intro package, we actually do that for every single show. We'll have a new intro package that is like themed to whatever the show theme is.
Okay, interesting. So I was going to ask him about the noise. We'll get to this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this
King of the Kill.
King of the Kill. I keep saying King of the Hill. King of the Kill. Now, how many guys? That's going to be your first tournament, right?
Correct.
What's the how many guys are going to be in it? I've seen you announcing one guy after another. Like, how many total do you know?
It'll be 8 guys. It's going to be a traditional tournament.
Okay. And
then there'll be 2 non-tournament matches in between rounds to kind of break them up, give the guys a little bit of a break. We announced one of those today, which is tag match for our tag championships with which is Midwest Scum, which is Dread King Logan and Zach Thomas, versus Hardcore 69, which is Shadow WX, who's here from Japan, and Madman Pondo.
Right. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, we know Pondo from way back. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, that's gonna.
Him and I used to have a podcast together where we talked about horror movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, he likes horror movies. Okay.
Love them.
So that's going to be 8-man tournament, and man, and then loaded matches in between. So that's going to be like 7, 2, 4, 7, about 11 matches, right?
With all the tournament matches, yes.
Wow, you're getting your money's worth there. Okay,
yeah, it's gonna be
and it's outside.
Actually, no, it's 9 matches total. If I'm doing the math, so yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. But we may have some surprises up our sleeves too, though.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, 8-man.
We have a tendency not to, like, almost for every show, we have a tendency to have something that we didn't announce. You know.
Oh, wow.
You know, people tell me that. Promoters say that because that way you keep them excited, and then you go to like, oh, I missed it. Oh, I can't believe. So you want to go to, you get surprised.
Yeah. We've had everything from Mickey Knuckles debuting that we didn't tell anybody about. In January, Ricky Shane Page showed up, and when we have people show up, we want it to be not just, we want it to be like a, oh shit moment. Like, oh, we didn't expect this. We're really getting our money's worth,
Oh yeah. I noticed, I think when you got a deathmatch tournament, it's always best to have extra people. Even if you have not do anything, like extra, because always something could happen. I mean, even with TOD, there's been things that have happened last minute. Oh God!
And sometimes it makes the best memories. Look at Zandig and Necro. Zandig got to step in.
Yeah. I remember that.
Definitely a classic.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see a Crazy King in the tournament. I believe this is his first tournament here in the States.
Yes. He'll be up from Mexico. I was lucky enough he was going to be up right around when I was having it. So we actually have 3 countries being represented in this thing. We have Crazy King from Mexico, we got Shadow WX from Japan, and we're flying in Joel Bateman from Australia.
Oh yeah, Bateman. Is he going to be doing a lot of shows or just one?
This will be his second time with us. He's wrestled for us before. The first time being last year's Deathmatch Circus with ICW. But he is only in the States to do our show and Unsanctioned Pro the night before. It'll be the only 2 shows he's doing, and then he's back in Australia.
Oh, okay. I like that guy. Man, that guy loves wrestling. Yeah, he loves the hardcore stuff.
He's the owner of Deathmatch Down Under.
Yeah.
And then you got Schlack. Schlack's definitely a favorite up there.
He seems to be the who everyone's putting their money on right now.
Okay.
Him and Hoodfoot.
Judge Joe. Judge
Dredd.
Judge Joe Dredd.
Yeah, he did good in the California.
Oh,
no, and then he had another match. What was the match? He was
him and
the summer I saw him. He was handcuffed and getting beaten to death.
It was him and Joe. Him and Joe.
Lou Nix. Oh, no, Joe. Yeah. Okay, I get him.
Absolutely.
There's so many.
He caught my attention actually. There was a promotion that was doing bar fights up here. And he was on the show, and I stepped in just to check it out. And he really impressed me. And him and I got to talking, and I was like, I'd love to have you in. And what better way to see what he's made of than a tournament,
Right. We've talked to a lot of the hardcore guys, and you know what? They tell us they don't care about winning a federation's title. They want to win a tournament, and they even want to get deep. Even if they make it to the finals, that's their like achievement to win any tournament. They're so are you getting that from these guys? They want to win it. Now, I would be like, can I do one round and get out? I don't They want to win it. They really want to win it. Their goal is to win it.
Well, I think it's a badge of honor for these guys, it's something that you can put on a resume. I was the winner of this deathmatch tournament. Look at Neil Diamond Cutter. He's still known as Prince of the Deathmatch, and luckily we're sponsored by Hyperion Belts. My belt guy is actually going to make Hyperion actually design that GCW belt behind you, but they're making a custom trophy. Like we're not just buying a trophy off the shelf. It's built custom for this, so the winner will have something very large to take home with them, and show that they won it and they went through some shit, and this is what they got.
Ooh. I like that. I like that it's not, look, I don't mind these trophies, but some of them are just like, they're just tall trophies that are made up. They look like a bunch of bowling trophies and they put a wrestling guy on it. Yeah.
I was originally going to do a crown, but he told me that would be way too much work. So what he did was there's a custom built topper, and then there's a bunch of custom pieces throughout the trophy.
Yeah, I like that.
That he designed and made himself out of, and tooled and painted himself.
I think they should never use I hate when they bust a trophy at the end of a tournament.
Oh, me too.
I hate that. It's like a piece of history that you're just. I mean, I look at it as like you taking the Super Bowl trophy and like the opposing team come and breaking it.
Oh, that's the worst.
We're historical. We're very historian. He got memorabilia, and we don't. I don't like seeing things,
especially something like that,
destroyed.
If someone breaks that trophy, I'm gonna be very pissed. I don't like it either.
No. Well, keep Schlack away from it.
Yeah, that's right. God,
I might have to hand it over to him. I don't know.
Oh, okay. He'll eat it. Schlack's a good guy.
See what he did to his trophy, and he did the Drake's trophy at XPW.
Right. He had Schlack for a convention in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was always fun. I was going to backtrack a little. What got you into deathmatch wrestling?
When I was younger, I got into tape trading. And one of the tapes I had randomly got was an FMW tape from Japan. And that was my first experience with deathmatch wrestling. And also, you know, me being in Detroit, I was given a copy of Stranglemania as well, the ICP. Because they're from here. They're very big. So those were going around like wildfire. So between those FMW tapes and the Stranglemania tapes, I started getting on eBay and I started looking for these bootlegs of like all these Mr. Pogo matches and, you know, like old Onita stuff and all that. And I just had like tapes upon tapes upon tapes, and I would just check them out. And if you would have told teenage me I would actually see this shit one day live, I wouldn't have believed you, let alone be the one doing it, you know?
That's crazy. Well, we've been to I've been to gatherings of the jugglers. Like we know Pondo and Necro, we know all these guys from way back. But that's funny that you say that. You know why? Because we met. Remember, Onita was at the Tremont's outdoor show, and he was just casually around. We getting pictures with him, and he kind of remembers us from different things. But what's crazy is, like you said, I saw that FMW match where he's in cages, things are blowing up. And I never thought I'd see him. I'm like, oh, I did see him come to ECW Arena when he came there and interfered with the Dudleys and stuff. But it never went through. But I did see him at ECW Arena back in the ECW. I used to go to ECW. And I never thought I'd see him again. And let alone put it fast forward 2022, where they're talking to him and joking around with him and he's like being cool about everything, you know?
Yeah. I've never got to meet Onita. It would be a lifelong dream of mine. I have not got to meet him yet. I have been lucky enough to work with a little bit of Japanese talent. We had Sakuda back in January. In our last show, we had Abdullah Kobayashi.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, we being in the Philadelphia area, when you're in this area, you're around stuff. Things don't mean nothing to you. Like, you know what I mean? You could be. We're kind of used to it. So, but I get a kick out of it when other people are like, they're so excited about meeting certain guys like Zandig and people like that. And, you know what I mean? You get that feeling. Yeah, we're like, we know. You know him. Like, Necro slept upstairs. And then we drove him to you know, things like that. Where we live in Smyrna, Delaware.
Okay.
And that's right down. That's where
Tournament of Deaths.
Tournament of Deaths have been there. Breakaway Tavern, and we've taken Mickey Drake. We took Drake there, and they love going to those historical things. You know,
we're around a lot of death matches.
Yeah, we're at it's kind of like a good death match area, but you're in a good area too. You bring it to yourself.
You're making history.
You're adding to it. Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky to where a lot of really great wrestlers are in the tri-state over here. Like we got all the 440 guys, you know, we got Josh Crane out there. We got Malcolm Monroe III, Tommy Vendetta, you know, Alex Colon lives out here, you know, like it's a hotbed of guys that don't even have to drive that far to get to your show. And it's just not a lot of reputable deathmatch stuff going on over here, you know. There's a few promotions doing it up, but for the most part, it's there's not a lot of it going on. You know, they're traveling elsewhere. So that's one of the benefits it's been of being in this area is that there is a lot of great talent very close. And then, you know, like when I travel to Chicago, they're still close. You know, I mean,
right.
It's been a blessing to me, you know.
Oh yeah. If you live out in Montana or Idaho,
yeah,
you could only wish to come out here to do something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a mess. Yeah. There is nothing out there. It's like,
Now, how are the regulations in the state in the Michigan state is? Oh,
there are none.
None.
We don't even talk about those things. Like
challenges, you know, there's some challenges, you know, when you're playing a show, you know, you have to, you know.
There's no commission out in Michigan. There's nothing. So let's hope it stays that way. I actually live in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I run in Michigan because I can't do what I want to do in Ohio because the commission is very strict here. Yeah. Like they'll shut you down. Anything that purposely causes, like, you know, will draw blood, they will shut you down and fine you. But I live in Toledo, which is like 5 minutes from the border of Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And when I started running my shows, I used to run at this restaurant called Burgers and Beers out back. And Burgers and Beers was a half mile over the border. So I went as close as legally possible to where I was. And then, you know, I've since moved closer. You know, we've done some shows up in actual downtown Detroit at Corktown. The Maybe venue we use a lot, but that's kind of like in between Toledo and Detroit. We're nomadic. We move around a lot. We don't really have a set home.
I've been to Toledo. It's called Glass City, right? Glass City.
Yeah.
I was at a Gathering Juggalos there, like the third one, and they had it at that convention center. And
yeah, they were not allowed back after that one.
Yeah. Oh man, that was crazy. They rioted. Yeah. Oh, everything. They were doing. They took over the city, and they weren't allowed back. Yeah. It was great. It was good. It was crazy.
At the time, the city of Toledo, for some reason, put all these fucking giant frog statues.
Yeah, they beat them up.
They were like, they were all like painted different and like themed and all this shit. They've since got rid of all those.
Oh yeah.
But at the time, they were like on every fucking street corner. So the Juggalos were putting the makeup on them and like defacing them and all that shit. And the city of Toledo was like, and they have never been back. I'm not sure they're even allowed to play here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Toledo.
I don't think I've ever heard of them putting on a show in Toledo ever since.
Probably not. And then I think CZW ran a show there a long time ago. Went out there with Lee, my buddy Lee. I don't know what we were doing out there. We went to a CZW. Wasn't there a CZW show? Or was it Jake?
Not that I'm aware of.
The Chris brothers. And it was like a dual show.
I remember them running.
I know they would do Rockstar stuff with Rockstar Pro, but that's Dayton.
Yeah, Rockstar.
Dayton's about 2 hours from here.
It's in Toledo.
No, Dayton's down by Columbus.
Oh, Dayton. No, I'm thinking Dayton. Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, you know what's weird?
Mike's.
No, wrestling has brought me to the weirdest parts of Ohio. Toledo, nobody here goes to Toledo. Dayton, Ohio. Chillicothe. There was a big thing called Brink of Death. Remember that?
Brink of Death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I went to that.
Toby.
Toby won that. So I've been all over to Ohio, but it's an interesting city. So wherever you go to, you can find things to do, like the Dayton Air Museum and just different stuff. Yeah. I like the band. There was a band called Hell's Kitchen. You ever heard of Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah. Those I knew some of those guys growing up. I don't know them anymore. I think one passed away, but yeah, there's this dude Kaz Lucas that was in that band. We used to roll in those circles. They would do what was known as a QP party, where everyone came in and threw $10 in, and you could just sit and smoke all night. There would be a quarter pound of weed out on the table.
Okay, yeah,
that was like their thing. But yeah, they were pretty big here in Toledo for a little while. Ironically enough, the last time I saw them, they were opening for the Cottonmouth Kings, and the other opening band was Linkin Park before they were ever signed.
I was at that tour. Yeah. That must have been like 2020. No, 2004 or 3 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was before they even had that album out. Like anyone knew who they were. They were just an opening band, and everyone was like, wow, these guys are pretty fucking good. They're not really my cup of tea, but you could tell there was definitely something there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a long time. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen is a rap band. They're very good. They were in Ohio. Actually, I ran into I saw them because they were together at Juggalos, and they had a show on like the last night, like on a random night, like somewhere. I don't know what the place was. And the guy I went to see him, and they were pretty good. Another guy named Zeke. There's another guy named Zeke.
Yeah.
Some guy named Zeke. He was there too.
I didn't know all the guys. I've seen him perform, but the one dude I hung out with a lot when I was a teenager.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. All right,
Yeah. I was going to say, one of the fans wanted to know what's the craziest dream match you would want to book? Like if you had an insane amount of no budget, you could book any match you would want. What would it be?
Huh? That is a damn good question. I'd want to see Tommy Vendetta versus Jun Kasai.
Oh,
Jun Kasai versus Tommy. Yeah. God, me, I don't know what it would be. Oh God! And you know the worst part about it is any dream match you want, you can actually put together. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, are we talking like what I could do now, or like it? Like, can I pick people that aren't even with us anymore?
Yeah.
Schlack versus Joe LeDuc.
Oh, okay. All right. Joe LeDuc.
I'd like to see Schlack and Wife Beater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The wife
Schlack
beater.
and Wife Beater.
The Wife Beater. Yeah. Did you follow CZ? Well, you said you followed CZW, right?
I grew up on it. Yeah. I watched all that stuff. I knew I watched Wife Beater, Lobo, fucking Mondo, all those guys. Like that's what I grew up on was CZW and MF or FMW when it came to death matches.
Well, what about IWA Mid-South? You were in that area, kind
of. I was unaware of them simply because there wasn't really the internet, and most of this was like tape trading and stuff, and I just didn't even know it existed at the time.
Oh, okay.
Had I known, I probably would have went out and made some shows because it's only, I think, about an hour and a half drive from me.
See, back in the day, if you're older, you had no knowledge of other territories. You had to read magazines, and if you did get a magazine, it had to be in a newsstand store that would have it. So you could you could live in an area where you could probably be 2 hours from any like you wouldn't even know the magazine exists. Then when you read the magazine, you'd see things, but you still didn't know where the venue was. You didn't know how to get there, let alone see it. Yeah. And now people are spoiled completely. Like it's like the record store mentality where you go to a record store, pick out something. Now, Yeah. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was a teenager, I had a pager.
Oh.
You know what a beeper is, homie?
A beeper, yeah, beepers, yeah.
Someone online asked, doesn't have to be your show. What's the worst injury you've seen in person?
In person, honestly, it was at one of my shows. It's one of the only injuries we've ever really had. Knock on wood, and it didn't even happen in a death match. It was Justin Kyle versus Sam Beal. Justin Kyle went to do a spear from outside the ring, and he was jumping between the ropes into the ring and was spearing Sam Beal. When he came down, Sam had his elbows out, and Justin Kyle's eye socket came into his elbow, and he floored his orbital bone, and his eyes started like dropping into his skull. Woo! And he still wrestled another 5 minutes after that, just to attest to his character. He wrestled for another 5 minutes after that for his championship belt. And then on the way out, like he loves kids so much, even though he was in extreme pain, he still stopped with a little kid and let him take a picture with the belt. Second he came through the curtains, he collapsed in pain, and we had to rush him to the hospital. And like, hopefully nothing like that ever happens again. We luckily I have paramedics that I can have on staff. Oh, good. So when you come wrestle here, there's an actual paramedic there to take care of you if anything does happen. And she went up to him. She's like, I can't do anything. You need to take him to a hospital immediately. I can't do anything about this. So he wrestled for a while with the Cody Rhodes, plastic over his face so that it'll protect his eye. But yeah, it floored it. Like it shattered his whole orbital bone.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was there for Nick Gage getting helicoptered out.
So many crazy
Rick
stuff.
Blade broke his femur jumping off like a 30-foot tower thing in CZW.
Dustin Lee with the
Dustin Lee got cut in the bag.
Yeah.
Sexy Eddie's blood squirting out from him.
Yeah, that's an iconic one.
Huh?
That's an iconic one. The Sexy Eddie blood splurt.
Funny thing about that is, he was at TOD, which is like legitimately 2 minutes down the road, and I tell a story that it was in the second round. He went to the hospital. Somebody took him to the hospital. At the end of the show, Wife Beater and Necro went off the top of her truck, right? Necro had a big cut in his back, but the tournament had ended. And Necro was staying at a buddy of mine's house, Hector, and we had to take him to the hospital because he needed something stitched. He needed something. He just couldn't walk around with his back like that. We took him to the hospital, and Eddie was in the hospital already. And back in the day, it was like little cubicles, like little curtains that you could go around, you know what I mean? So we get there and we see Manny, Manny, the promoter. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And Eddie was already getting cleaned up from the cut and everything. And he had charmed the waitresses. I mean, not the waitresses, the freaking nurses, the nurses. So I go in there with Necro. It was so casual back then. You could walk back to the emergency room. Now everything's strict because psychos and COVID and all that. But we walked back there and then, hey, what happened to you guys? All that. And Eddie walked in with his gear, his bikini gear and his shoes. He walked, he likes to be in gimmick, right?
Yeah.
He walks in. I don't know if you know this story. He walks in, and then when we see him, he's all cleaned up. They gave him like orderly schmuck, like the pants and the shirt. And the women were like loving him, hugging him, or like hugging him goodbye. Eddie. Like there was like 4 nurses that loved him. This is when he was younger and everything, right? And they were like loving him. And then I found out, I said, what did you tell him happened to you? And he says, he told him he was a stripper. And he was, he said, he was doing a bachelorette party and he was dancing on a table and on a glass table and fell and cut and glass went in his arm and cut him. And then he walked in with that bikini thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And
his banana hammock.
Huh?
His banana hammock.
Right. So these nurses saw him coming in, like Sexy Eddie, looking good, all that. And they're like, I mean, think about it. Let's say there was a bunch of male doctors and then some like totally hot stripper comes in. He's like, oh, I fell off the, whatever. And they were giving him I'm like, I can't believe this. They're giving him hugs. See you later, Eddie. Be careful. And then Manny was like, man, I'm glad I got that travel insurance. And I'm like, I can't believe this. Then Necro, they're like, what happened to you? They were ready to call the cops. They thought he was like attacked in a fight, in a street fight or something. You know what I mean?
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, that's a story. That's a funny story. We like
Sexy Eddie cracks me up, man. I love that dude.
Oh yeah, he's like
something else.
Wait, he's wrestling XPW. He's
doing XPW.
He keeps coming around. The Green Phantom. Yeah, those guys are.
They travel together. We had our first Chicago show. We were supposed to have both of them on, and the day of the show, something happened at the border, and they wouldn't let them in. So we had to replace them the day of the show. I've been meaning to get both of them back down. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Right. Listen, when they come over the border, you got to make sure they don't have anything that could be like construed as working things. Like, and they're like, they look through the stuff
what happened was, this is like right after things started normalizing from COVID. So things were still, and like Canada was a lot more strict than what we were doing.
Yeah.
And you had to have like a proper work visa to get across. And I think that there was some, like, they had it, but I think that there was something that happened at the border where they were just like, no, you guys can't come in. And like, we found out the day of, so we had to swap some people out.
And they made it all the way to the border where Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah, they were at the border. They were ready to come. I think it's because they found their gear and they discovered they were wrestlers, as opposed to like coming down for like, as a day laborer or something.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might have been the problem, because Pondo had something similar happen to him.
You know what you got to do? Wear your gear. I hate to say it. Wear your gear. Well, you come in with merchandise and T-shirts and stuff.
Well, Green Fan came.
Yeah, they had boxes of merch and all that. There was no talking your way out of that one.
No. That's crazy. Yeah, that happened to Necro one time. Necro went to Japan and he didn't have the proper paperwork.
Oh man, they sent him back. Right?
Yeah.
So you run into hiccups sometimes. Like I worked at shows where 2 days before the show the ring cancels on them. One time we were about to run the show, both refs canceled. There was no refs. Someone had to jump in. Do you run into situations like that? And what's the best way to handle something like that?
Every single show, something wild's going to happen that you're going to have to deal with. And honestly, I figured out fast. Just don't get upset. It's the second you start getting upset, like Chicago, for example, that was our last show. I was on the way to the venue. I'm not in my home area. And then I find out that the ring didn't have the proper apron. It was a 18-foot ring, and we had to provide our own apron because we were doing death matches. The building came with a ring, but we were doing death matches. And the aprons I had dropped off, they dropped off 16-footers instead of 18-footers. So we didn't have aprons to do the show. So I ended up having to like call in favors and like friend of a friend and all this just to source one in Chicago and find one last minute so we could run. I mean, every single show is like that. The like we were talking about with Street Trash, the Jersey show. Casey Kirk was supposed to be on that show. She ended up getting her nose broke the night before at RPW, so I had to replace her last minute with Satu Jin. And then Remington Roar was on the way up, and he got in a bad car accident. He couldn't make it, so I had to replace him. The same thing with the Chicago show. They couldn't get over the border. I had to replace him the day of. And the first circus that we did with ICW, we were supposed to have Bam Sullivan. We're in the middle of the sticks. I'm barely getting any cell phone reception. The day of, calls me up. He's like, "Hey, something's going on in my personal life." It was a very valid excuse. No heat there. But I had to replace him going into Madman Pondo. And that's when I put Hoodfoot in. And that ended up being like a very huge breakout match for him that helped cement him as a deathmatch guy. Because up to that point, he was just dabbling. He only done it a couple times, but he was in the area and like he was one of my guys. Like when he first started coming around, he was helping out and he was in like opening scrambles and things like that. And then like now he's ICW champ. So like sometimes they're happy accidents, sometimes they're not, but there's always something every single show that is going to happen, and it's best just to plow through it, be like, don't get mad. There's a solution to everything. Just calm the fuck down, figure out what it's going to be, and push through it.
Oh, absolutely. You guys don't get enough credit. You promoters don't get enough credit. You guys, there's so much BS you guys got to deal with. So much, things that so much obstacles you have to get through to put on a good show. So thank you for what you do, man. We appreciate it. We do a lot of backstage stuff and see it firsthand. They were like, sometimes it's like, what do you do? It's out of our control now. What can we do? Just have to handle it. So thank you.
A lot of people don't realize what all goes into it. I put more hours into wrestling per week than I do my shoot job, and I work 40 hours a week. I mean, like since I got off work today, I have dealt with so much stuff. I've done, set this up, set that up. We made match announcements. I got stuff I got set up tomorrow. I had to get postcards made that we're going to pass out at the matches that are or the shows that are happening the week before the tournament. I got those made. Dealing with my graphics guy, like it's a nonstop thing, and it's every single day. I mean, even now, after I did all that, now we're here talking wrestling. Like it's a 24/7 job, like it's a lot of people think that it's all fun and games, but when you get into it, like you really have to be into it. You really have to love it, or it's going to eat you alive.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's why me and Mike, we never talk bad about anyone. We always give credit because we know what you guys go through, and I don't like see when fans crap on something.
I know,
and it's like they don't know the backstory. They don't know how much work got put into that. So we appreciate.
I mean, to them, it's just the entertainment. It's like seeing a TV show, you know, like either you like it or you don't. But you know, there's thousands of hours of man hours in there, you know, and it's not the work you put in, it's the product you put out, and they're allowed to have their opinions. Sometimes they're not fun, sometimes they're toxic, but you just have to take it on the chin and keep going, you know. Like I'd like to think it doesn't bother me when, you know, when I see someone, you know, shit on a match or like not want to or check out a show or something, but it does a little bit because you care. And if it doesn't bother you, it means that you're not caring enough, you know. And I do want to make everyone happy, but it's impossible. And especially with the style that we do and like our branding and like, you know, what we do, we're on the fringe, you know, we're a little bit more violent and chaotic than what most people are expecting in wrestling, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Speaking about violent and chaotic, change the subject a little. Do you let your guys do what they want? I mean, are they pretty free to do like, yeah, I mean, you pretty much say, all right, you two, and then, you know, I know what, you know, like you got, and they do it on their own, or some federations are pretty strict. You got to check with the promoter.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk about that. You don't have to, but
Absolutely. I'll talk about it. I am a lot more easygoing than most promoters. I paint in broad strokes and I let you fill in the fine details. Like, you know, here's what needs to happen here. It's like, so clearly I have a lot of tattoos, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like going to a tattoo artist. And if you tell them too much, like you're going to do this, you're going to get a bad tattoo. They know their strengths. They know how to make things look best. You give them your idea and you let them take off with it, and it'll turn out great. And that's how I treat the wrestling. The only thing I'm going to tell my stories, and here's the broad strokes. You guys fill it in how you want, you know, and you know, they'll come see me if there's like a crazy spot they want to do, or, you know, something risky, or, you know, whatever. But aside from that, you know, I really trust my guys, and I actually hold my cards close to the chest. Except for me and the workers, not even my staff knows what's going to happen. Like I don't want my commentators knowing what's happening. I don't want anyone. So if I know if I could pop those guys, then I'm onto something. So I want my commentators to have a genuine reaction, all that. And that's actually how I gauge things as well.
Oh, okay.
You know,
he lets them do what they want. Yeah, and a lot of them are veterans. So you got Pondo coming in, man. That's exciting too. Yeah. I'm excited. Shadow WX, he brought him. They're like doing a little tour. They're going all over the place. I can't believe Pondo is really kicking it in. He's him and Tank and Lane. They're like the throwbacks, especially Pondo and Necro from the gone by era that are still, you know what I mean? They're like the last of that era that are still good. And people should be happy that they're seeing them, because we've seen them many times, and I don't care, you know, whatever they do, you should be happy you're seeing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Living legends.
Yeah, I like
absolutely. I mean, and some of these guys are putting on the best matches. I mean, you know, a lot of people have their opinions on Drake Younger. I grew up a Drake Younger fan. It is common knowledge that he was supposed to be in this tournament. I got heat from even people from my own company and backstage, and I wasn't having it. I was like, you know, he's somebody I grew up on, and I want to work with him once, you know, and he was putting on the best match of his life till then. So
yeah, I know. It's
you know, like some of these guys that are from back in the day are still putting out some of the best matches they've ever done and showing these guys how it goes, you know. I mean, we're lucky to have them around, even if you don't like maybe what they do in their personal life or what they stand for or whatever, but I'm worried about what happens in a ring and if it's entertaining and good.
Oh my God. You know, if you go back, we've done stuff with Drake. If you go back to say, like, I don't like you because you did this and that, like, then you won't like anybody, because you're going to go to a restaurant and you're going to give money to someone, and they may be against everything you make. They may be whatever, or his brother or anything. So if you keep backtracking, you won't like anybody, because there's something you don't like. Somebody is against something. I mean, it's very like gives me a headache. Like, well, he's like that. Oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah. I mean,
Drake's one of the
Yeah,
nicest.
absolutely. I mean, if what you're doing's not hurting people and it's not like horrible, like if your politics suck, that's your fucking opinion.
yeah.
What's that matter with what you can do in a ring, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
I may get a little heat for that, but like I don't care, you know?
yeah.
If like as long as you're not like a fucking terrible person, you're not hurt anybody with what you do, like I can disagree with you. There's plenty of people I have around every day where I'm just like, I really don't like what you feel about this or that, but
you can do an experiment. Be
they're entitled to feel that way, and there's plenty of people that look at me that way. They're like, I don't like. Maybe most of my people or most of my friends are not wrestling people, and they look at me like what I'm doing is fucking insane, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my thing. That's my journey, you know. And like that's not for them to decide or have their opinion. Like they can have their opinions, but it's not going to affect what I do, you know.
See, I'm against. I don't like. I'm very anti-war, nuclear weapons and stuff. So you could have a guy that's like, let's go invade a country. Like, I like deathmatch. Well, you're talking about, like I think war is worse than death matches. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Certain things. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, certainly, you got to take it in perspective of what.
Yeah.
What?
As long as you're not a bad person.
Actually, boxing and boxing is like one of the boxing, football. More people get injured in those things than wrestling. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's more race cars.
Yeah.
More people. Yeah. I mean, things like that.
Any advice you would give to someone that wants to, start promoting shows, running shows? Any advice you would give to them?
Well, I'll give you the common answer: just don't.
Yeah.
But that's the common, joke answer. What I would say is you better fucking love it. Expect your family and friends not to understand. Expect to get shit on constantly for what you do. You have to have a strong spine. You have to be sure of yourself because, like to the people that are around me, most of my close friends are not wrestling people.
Yeah, me too.
And when they see what I post or what I'm doing or clips or all that, they're just like, what the fuck? Are you a psychopath? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But you got to be a strong person and be like, no, it's this, and this. It's not what you think it is. It looks worse than it is. It's performances. It's,
right.
It's an art form to it. So my advice would be you better love it. You better expect it to consume all your fucking free time. Like, I'm like 5 years behind the curve. I just now started playing Grand Theft Auto Online, and I can't even fucking do it because I'm constantly having to return messages and like you can't pause in that game. So I'm just like So like the things I want to do to unwind on my free time, sometimes I can't even do because I got to be readily available.
Yeah, stick to the wrestling. We like that. Yeah, we like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was gonna say. The women. What do you think now? Now you and I, and we grew up, and it was. I remember when we've done an interview with Mickey. When Mickey first did her first death match, that was controversial. Even Ian, who was deathmatch president of the world, basically, he didn't want her to wrestle in a death match, and she had to like fight him tooth and nail. And then Ponda said, "Let her do it," and then she did it. A death match, right? And then she came to CZW, things like that. But back then, there was almost no women doing it. Lufisto, and even when Ian put on his Queen of the Death Match tournament, do you remember that?
Yes. Yep.
It was like it wasn't like it is now. In Casey Kirk, and
it was just girls. They just barely.
Yeah, it was girls. They were good. They impressed us, but it wasn't to the level it was now. And what do you think of the women now? The that are just going. I never thought I'd see women going as hard as Randy West, Mickey, Casey Kirk, Sarah Dox. What's Wreck? Sawyer Wreck. She's loving it. I can't believe it. Even in Australia, your death match. We were supposed to do an interview. Death match down under's got girls doing it.
Yep. My opinion is some of the women go and are just as tough as the men, if not tougher. Mickey Knuckles can go fucking toe to toe with anybody. I've seen her wrestle Cruel and Schlack and giant fucking people, and she like there's no intimidating her. Like she could take it more than most people. And same with Randy West, you know.
Oh, yeah.
She's been pounding around for forever. And I like to think that I was one of the promotions that like really backed her and saw that she was what she is, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and like, you know, when she goes out there, she puts 1,000% into it. That's why she has that strap. You know, she just hit 500 days the other day with it. So I'm of the opinion. I know there's other promoters that aren't into it. We don't have a women's division because our women are just as tough as our men. We have wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, our women will wrestle women, our women will wrestle men. They don't give a shit, and they'll go right toe to toe and be just as fucking tough, if not tougher.
Yeah. You know, I think a woman in a death match against a guy in a death match is more sensible than a woman wrestling a guy in a non-death match, because you're doing the equalizer with the weapons. So in reality, you could get the best of somebody in a death. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. There's an equalizer there.
It's more of an equalizer, so it makes it more acceptable. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's my opinion. I love the women.
Different,
I'm never get. I almost amazed by seeing the women. Hey, yeah, I'll never shit on those girls. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, shit.
We just did an interview with Gabby, and she was telling us, you know, how hard it was. You know,
Gabby Gilbert.
Gilbert to get
Yeah. She's been on my radar for a little bit.
Oh, okay. She's eager to travel.
She is.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of people that keep pitching her to me and showing me stuff, and I've liked what I've seen.
Okay, she's good.
Well, that interview is going to be coming out. You'll see her personality and stuff.
Yeah,
we learned a lot about her.
It was very informative.
Interview. It's going to come out pretty soon.
I have to ask you. We had an event early on in the year, in January, with Zandig. I don't know if you've seen it or not. The Zandig Schlack incident at the Peking Diner.
Yeah. I liked all the reviews that the diners started getting after that. You know, like we were just trying to eat our French fries, and some guy came in yelling about Danzig.
We were there. It was crazy. Yeah.
That was a good way to start the year off.
We sold Zan. It was my idea to come up with a dinner. He put it together too. You know, and I'm like, and Zandy was like, nah. And I'm like, leave him alone. He don't want to do it. Because he brought him in for a signing, first signing ever at the arena. Yeah. And Necro was there too. It was funny. Necro and Zandig were there. There was WWF guys that were coming up to him and being like, "Hey, man, yeah." And they're like, they know us. They knew it. They knew it. They knew him, and it was amazing. But
a WWE Hall of Fame tag team came up to Zandig and was like, you know, Zandig,
we know you, right?
We know you,
and then.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we know it because they know it. But and then we threw the dinner at him. And he's like, and then I'm like, dinner, and then we didn't do it. And then he finally agreed to it.
Yeah.
And then we had the
Schlack.
Then they were taping it. The guys were going to tape it. It was supposed to go more with the Ultraviolet Underground thing, but what the hell was I getting at? We were there. The food. Look, that food is good. You're coming to New Jersey?
Yeah, we're gonna be back. I don't have the date locked in, but we will be back in Jersey hopefully at the beginning of next year.
Right, but if you come, you may come. WrestleMania
weekend.
I mean,
no, but if you're here before for any other thing, if you come to another show or something, go to the Peking. We'll go to the Peking. The food is good. It's very underrated. No, and it's cheap. And man. I ate like 6 plates. I just kept going back and forth, man. I love the food there. Too bad you don't have the menu. Where's the menu?
Upstairs.
Yeah, you got some menus, but yeah, we had a good. We didn't know Schlack was going to come through there.
I'm a foodie, man.
He came pushing his way through.
Yeah. The reaction of the people around us was
what is going on? Yeah.
Believe it or not, my day job is I am a certified chef. I went to culinary school. I cook for a living.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, I used to run kitchens at like country clubs, and where I was making everything down to the ketchup from scratch. I mean, you could put me in a kitchen with minimal ingredients, and I can make you something.
Oh,
I got ribs on the smoker right now.
Here, we'll give you $10 and send you to Dollar Tree. Can you cook?
Yeah, I can. People are
Oh,
surprised. They're like, well, I'll be at like some friend's house and, we're partying or drinking or whatever. And they'll be like, man, I'm hungry. And I'll just be like, go look in their fridge. Like, I can make this. Like, no, you can't. Like, yeah, I can. Like, I take bare minimum ingredients and just throw them together and, make something out of them.
That's a chef. Yeah, culinary. Yeah, that's big respect for that. Yeah.
You want to ask about the restaurants?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about coming up there. I'm going to try to get a plane ticket to your doubleheader show you're having, and the two shows in maybe that's how you say it, maybe, right?
Maybe, yeah. Everyone thinks it's like we're saying it. Maybe it's in Michigan. No, the name of the town is Maybe. Maybee. It's right outside of Monroe, Michigan, which most people know better as Monroe, Michigan, but it's right in the outskirts of it.
So my thing, I'm so excited about this Lane's Pizza. Remember, I told you that it's a restaurant.
Insane Lane Pizza, right? Insane Lane came up.
Lane's Pizza.
Yeah. Insane Lane made. He runs that place. He runs a pizza place, right? Insane Lane.
Yeah. No, it's called Lane's Pizza.
Yeah, Insane Lane Pizza.
Right.
Yeah. Insane Lane Pizza. He came up with it.
You messed it up.
Then
I was supposed to say, listen, I'm supposed to say, I'm supposed to say Lane's Pizza, and you're supposed
ruined
to
the
say,
bit.
You're supposed to say Insane Lane has a pizza place. I'm like, Lane, and then you say, no, he doesn't own a pizza.
I bought your joke.
Never mind. Forget it. Nah, we can pass it. No,
the restaurants.
Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So Lane's Pizza. So is that good food? Lane's Pizza. It's not Insane Lane. It's another one, right?
It's not Insane Lane. No, it's run by a guy named Brandon. Very nice guy. Very good food. Super great pizza. But they're not only serving. Wow. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there's like a million fire trucks just running by my house right now. Sorry. They're going to be serving more than just pizza.
Okay.
Yes, the place is called Lane's Pizza, but they're going to be there 24/7 from Friday and Saturday, including overnights. They're going to be doing not only pizza, they're going to be doing sandwiches, burgers, dogs. They're going to have gluten-free and veggie options. We're going to have a midnight movie marathon that is sponsored and curated by Severin Films. They're going to be doing popcorn and snacks for that. There's going to be a late night smokeout. They're going to have stuff for that. Breakfast burritos and sandwiches in the morning, waffles, shit like that. Like, it's going to be a full restaurant menu there the entire time. And no matter what time you get hungry, you're going to have something to eat thanks to Lane's Pizza out there in Maybe, Michigan.
Okay. And people are bringing tents and you could camp right on the grounds?
Yes. So it's a very large property. Everyone's bringing tents and setting them up. You can set it up wherever you want. You're welcome to bring your own bottle, but there's also going to be booze available through the building. They'll be selling it as well if you don't feel like bringing your own. You're more than welcome to bring a grill. It's very relaxed. I mean, like think about it like any other camping trip with a lot of wrestling. We're gonna have bands involved. There's gonna be, like I said, the movie marathon. There's gonna be a bunch of vendors. Hopefully I think we got the Michigan Museum of Horror getting involved. They're gonna bring a bunch of skulls and shit down. We're gonna have a bunch of really cool shit. Like, it's not gonna be boring for a single second. There's always gonna be something to do.
Okay. That sounds good. I like the wrestling, the movies, and the bands. But I think I'm gonna have to stay. Where's the closest Motel 6? I'm not a woods guy.
That would be in Monroe, Michigan. It's about a 15-minute drive.
All right.
From where we're at. I would look at hotels in Monroe. There's plenty of them, and there's some cheap ones.
Join us live Friday night, October 20th, as X Brand Wrestling presents Nightmare on Glassboro Road, live from the H2O Wrestling Center. Christian Ross will be defending the X Brand Wrestling World title. Also scheduled to appear Chris Bradley, Biggie Sanchez, The Goomba, Anthrax, Jay Sawyer, DSD, the North Korean Assassin, Hawk Sawyer, and many more. Tickets go on sale early August. This is a show you won't want to miss.
Yeah, stuff's cheaper up there. The East Coast, they gouge you. You're not getting a decent hotel out here for less than $200 on a weekend.
Well, like TOD, we're running this kind of near the country, so there's not a lot in the area, So they're cheaper prices because there's that. I mean, the only thing that's really in Monroe is a couple of restaurants and about 3,000 dispensaries.
Oh, okay, good. And there's no building for this. It's outdoors, right?
There is a building. That was one other thing I was going to point out. If you don't feel like camping, there is a building, and in the inside overnight, we're going to let people set up cots and stuff like that if they wanted to sleep in a building. But it'll be like a bunkhouse situation where there might be 30 people in the room. You know,
like a big Japan dojo.
Also, there's full on-site showers and all that too.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Wow,
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a pretty cool setup these guys got.
Okay. Well, that's good. I like the outdoor shows. I really like outdoor shows because you can walk around, you can go to your car and do things like that. I'm a big fan of the outdoor tournaments. Yeah.
So for the people making that travel, what do you recommend they try it from Lane's Pizza?
Man, that's a hard question. I'm a pizza junkie, but I'm kind of like a creature of habit, you know. So like I always get the same toppings usually. So you know, I'm a sausage, onion, and peppers guy.
Nice.
Sometimes they'll throw little bacon bits in the mix, but the pizza's very good. But they also make a hell of a Philly cheesesteak. I very much enjoy the Philly cheesesteak. And then they do these dessert things called cinnamon knots, where they knot the dough up and then they fry it and then they toss it in like cinnamon sugar, and then they have like a marshmallow fluff thing that they give with it. It's very good.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I think I'll try those.
Try it out.
But also, I want to put this out there. There is a cool little destination spot that's 20 minutes away from the venue called Arena Tacos. And Arena Tacos is run by a guy who is a massive luchador fan. It is wall-to-wall memorabilia, like real mass, all from AAW. All the booths and like seating is like carved into different luchador. Like there'll be like a Blue Demon one, or you know, whatever. It's a very cool experience, and the food is incredible and very cheap. So if you're coming out, I would highly suggest you guys check out Arena Taco.
Arena Taco. So how far are you from Detroit if you fly into Detroit?
It'll take you about 30 minutes to get here.
Oh, okay, that's pretty close. Yeah. Okay, west of Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And
it's not far.
Excuse me?
It's not far.
No, it's not far. Detroit's a good drive around. I like to. I got to get one of these shirts. Are you still selling? It says Ruthless Pro RPW. Do you have those shirts? They're like yellow, or I don't know. They're
we have a few new designs that we're getting printed.
Okay.
For the show. They will be brand new designs that we haven't used before. We do have a decent amount of the old stuff left, but it's like sporadic sizes. So we have two different designs we're making, and then we're gonna have also trucker hats and beanies as well, along with like stickers and keychains and you know all that stuff.
Okay.
DVDs.
That's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited about it. And then so there's gonna be a show on Friday night at 8:00 and then 4:00 the next day. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Actually, I'd like to chime in there. The show the next day is not till 7. We're kicking the activities off at like noon to 1 though. You know, like the pre-show. There'll be some pre-show matches. There'll be the bands playing, all kinds of fun extra shit going on. We're not gonna actually start the tournament till 7 because it's gonna be so fucking hot that we wanted to do it more towards dusk into night because we have plenty of lights. We're gonna light the whole fucking thing up.
Okay.
Because we got to light the whole area because there's going to be scaffolds involved and all kinds of wild shit. We want to make sure you can see everything, but we have plenty of lighting. We just didn't want everyone frying in that heat because it's going to be August, you know?
Yeah, those daytime deathmatch. So wait, okay, so it's at 8:00 on Friday and then 7.
Yes, Unsanctioned Pro will be at 8:00. They have a very strong card, and they're doing something called the Deathmatch Eliminator for their hardcore championship strap. They got people like Joel Bateman, Shane Mercer, Josh Crane's in there, Eric Dillinger, Kevin Giza, bunch of guys, and it's a 2-round eliminator thing for this strap, and it's all deathmatch. It's definitely worth coming out and checking out both shows. On our Eventbrite, there is a general admission combo pack. That's both shows for one price. It's only $50 if you want to see both shows. I would suggest that's the way to go to save yourself a little bit of money. Aside from that, just go to unsanctionedpro.com and they have all their ticket stuff there. but I would definitely recommend checking out. I'm not the thing about Unsanctioned Pro. The promoter and I were friends long before we were ever promoters, and he's been doing it longer. I would drive down to Columbus just to see this man's shows. I really love his product. I'm very happy we finally get to work together, and I can't push enough how great his show is going to be on Friday. And that's not just me, you know, I don't make a cent off his show. That's me saying, come out there. Like, that's my personal opinion. That's not a business move. Like, I think he's going to put on a fantastic show.
It sounds like you're giving a money back guarantee if not completely satisfied.
I don't go putting words in my mouth like that. I mean, like I said, it's not my money.
I didn't.
He's also got Gary J versus Tommy Vendetta in a heavy metal death match. Which, how often do you get to see Gary J do a death match? You know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I got to get it. I'm gonna get.
I never seen Gary J do.
What do you do? Are you tied up that week? I'm thinking about getting a ticket.
Check it out. Yeah.
Friday morning
And Crazy
and
King
come back Sunday
Seeing
morning.
Crazy King in a tournament.
I think this is his first U.S. tournament ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of my buddy Lee Johnson and Mike Aldhouse, they went to some of your shows, and I'm going to talk. Lee wants to go. I'm going to talk. We may try to get a convoy, but I got to fly out there. We got to fly because
I'm pretty sure Althouse is planning on coming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Him and I are good buddies. He usually, whenever we do like bigger shows like this, he'll make the trip.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He loves the tournament. He came to my house, went through my T-shirts, and started buying shirts like it was like a thrift shop. Like,
like a flea market,
huh?
Like a flea market.
Yeah. And then
this is cool. I'll give you $5.
I know. No. I didn't give him away, but he gave me good deals on him. And then he takes the shirt, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want. Like, I can't get that shirt.
You can't get them shirts.
But I got the money, so I buy another shirt. Yeah. I got too many shirts. It's got to be a good shirt. I like his Ruthless. Yeah, I like that shirt.
It's like a death metal.
Yeah.
I will say this: any of our previous shirts you can get at Deathmatch Worldwide. So even if we're not selling it, they will have all of our designs, even if they're not still in print with us.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. There's one shirt I really like. Yeah. I think somebody was wearing it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I saw somebody.
The one with the death metal logo, and it's got Hoodfoot and Pondo on it, right? Where he's getting
No, it's a different one. It just said it just had the letters.
Oh, okay, yeah. But there's a couple of different variations of that on there with some different designs on the back.
Well, now you've talked me into definitely going. I was on the board because I got the CZW the week before, but now I'm
they're gonna be on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to this. Yeah.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah, I know. We'll try to go. See if we can get like 4 people out there.
Absolutely. Just go to CZW. I have to check my work schedule.
Okay, yeah.
When we get done recording, I might be able to give you a discount code.
Oh, sounds good.
If that helps tip the scale.
Anything else you want to
Oh, the guys. Yeah, the Dr. Renacto. Yeah, I like him a lot. I mean, that guy takes chances. He's outrageous. Remington Roar loves these gusset plates.
Yeah.
He can't get enough of them. Oh, who's the guy that we interviewed down there in Alabama or something? He loved it too.
Oh, Raven Havoc.
Raven Havoc loves it.
Yeah, he loves it.
That guy is a wild guy too.
I will say this about Remington Roar. I saw him do the most badass thing I've ever seen another human being do, and did not flinch an inch about it. I saw this man pick up a cactus, take a bite out of it like a fucking apple.
Oh.
We interviewed him. We did the interview with him, and it was an amazing interview. The way this guy wants to do it. He'll talk about driving 20 hours to a show. And I mean, I appreciate these guys. These guys are really something. Joel Bateman, Hoodfoot, Crazy King, Remington Moore, Schlack. So you got, there's one more guy.
We announced Judge Joe Dredd today as well.
Joe Dredd. So there's one more guy you got to announce, right?
When's this coming out?
It's coming up.
When's
for a few days.
Tomorrow.
The last guy will be Tommy Vendetta.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And then we'll have another match along with the in-between match, which will be Joseph Schwartz versus Herzog for his Kamikaze Championship.
Oh, wow.
Do you get?
and that will be a full death match.
How do you feel when I know you contact people, but do people contact you, being a big deathmatch promoter and stuff, or like
Endlessly?
Huh?
Since we've started this interview, I've had 3 different wrestlers message me about wanting to get on shows.
What?
I'm not even kidding.
Don't mention who, but name guys.
Yeah.
Don't say it. You don't say it, because sometimes.
No, I mean, like, very reputable people. But the thing about our roster is it's already big, and we have belts involved that ties up a few matches, stuff like that. And I'm also very mindful of not having a long-winded show. Like, I don't like shows that have like 10, 11 matches on them. This tournament's an exception because it is a tournament. That's kind of the nature of the beast. But like, I like to keep it 7 or 8 matches, keep it lean and mean. So it's hard for me, unless I really have my eye on you, to bring in new guys, because if a new guy comes in, that means one of my normal guys is not on the show.
Oh, yeah, spots.
Tipping the scales.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the tournament, we do have several people debuting. Joe Dredd's never been here before.
Right.
Crazy King's never been here before. Believe it or not, it is Schlack's first appearance here.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. There's a lot of deathmatch a lot of deathmatch workers now that are willing to do it. That makes it good for us fans.
Yeah, we are.
I'm behind on IWTV. I've got like 5 shows I don't even know where I'm at. I'm lost. H2O. I'm behind that. I'm behind the.
We had a fan ask, what is your favorite deathmatch tournament of all time?
I would have to say, and I was there for this actually. It was my first time seeing a tournament live. Would have been the Nick Cage Invitational 3.
Oh.
That's the one that had like Cologne versus Takeda. It had Vortex on it. It had Lloyd. It had Crane. It had Dysfunction. It was a phenomenal tournament, and it was pretty awesome. Like that. I really liked that one.
I'm not bragging, but I've been to every TOD.
I hate you.
I mean, no, the experience, and every one was an experience in its own. Yeah. Like, something big happened at either one. Mondo and Zandig, Necro and Whitebeater, Sexy Eddie, Nick Gage getting carried up. Even last year, the first one after the thing, every one had like thing. And we used to go to IWA Mid-Souths and stuff like that. Carnage Cup is like another world that I like. Carnage Cup too. Carnage Cup is
I couldn't even imagine what that environment's like.
I've been about 6 Carnage Cups. We traveled there. You ever heard of Hellaware Assassin?
Yeah.
Join us live Friday night, October 20th, as X-Brand Wrestling presents Nightmare on Glassboro Road, live from the H2O Wrestling Center. Christian Ross will be defending the X-Brand Wrestling World title. Also scheduled to appear Chris Bradley, Biggie Sanchez, The Goomba, Anthrax, Jay Sawyer, DSD, the North Korean Assassin, Hawk Sawyer, and many more. Tickets go on sale early August. This is a show you won't want to miss.
I know him. I grew up with him. I known him since we were like 18 and stuff. Yeah, he loves wrestling, man. Yeah, he's Carnage Cup, but he likes. We went to a couple of them. I remember a funny thing after he was IWA Mid-South. He's like, they called me. We gotta go. I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm offered a deal down in Carnage Cup. I'm like, huh? Where's it at? What? I didn't even know that. He's like, it was like the second one after the first one got canceled. And I'm like, all right, let's go. We rolled down there, and it was good. It was the one in Mickey Knuckles was there, Necro, Lane, all those guys. That's where I kind of met Brian Woods and all those guys. And I like it now. John Rare, Sprite of Boudreaux, those guys are just. Yeah, they're wild, man. Them dudes. Yeah, it's a rite of passage. You got to do Carnage. You're not a deathmatch worker until you've done at least one Carnage Cup.
At least one, right? Hellaware did a couple of them, didn't he? Hellaware did a couple of them.
Yeah, Hellaware did a couple of them. Yeah. But it is a little different world. It's because it's out. Yeah. It's kind of a different scene. But it's
different fan base.
Yeah, but they want to win it. Yeah. People want to win the Carnage Cup. Yeah, you do want. It's a cup. Those guys sign up for it. I like it. Masters of Pains were good.
Masters of Pain.
Honda used to bring in guys. Yeah. Yeah. Big fan of the tournaments. Yeah. You know, I'm going to give you an idea. This is what I know you got an 8-man tournament, but I'm going to throw an idea at you. What do you think of this form of tournament? Now, this is just an idea. It's hard to go 3 rounds, right? It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm telling people, I figured out this is my formula for a tournament. 4 3-ways, right? Where the 2 guys that get, and then like one guy wins. The 2 guys that lose, they do most of the stuff. Like, they get over, they put themselves over, doing all kind of bumps and stuff. The winner does a lot, but he kind of like lays that, like, takes it easy. But nobody like says he didn't do anything because everybody's going so crazy. Then he's like fresh for the second round. So he's almost wrestling. Whoever makes it to the finals really wrestles almost 2 with a freebie in the first one where they're not getting taken much.
Yeah. We were throwing around maybe doing that format, but instead we decided to opt to use it to maybe bring in more, like to bring in Joel. That wasn't cheap. We flew him in from Australia.
Oh, okay.
So instead of having more faces, what we want to do is have a landscape of guys who can't work together in a lot of different places. There's like a lot of politics and drama that I'm not involved in, and they can work here because it's neutral ground. So a lot of these matches that are going to happen, you can't see anywhere else,
Oh, that's right. Because all the guys wrestle for different federations.
Yeah.
Like Schlack doesn't wrestle anywhere near Hoodfoot.
Yeah.
Remington
King. You're never going to see Crazy King,
Mm-hmm.
And then Joel Bateman. So these guys probably get excited when they're around people that they how do they, like, when a known deathmatch guy from one place sees another one that he's never met, do they kind of bond with each other in the back? Like, are they excited?
It's person to person. People are people. It's preconceived notions and attitudes, really. Like, if a lot of time, like I said, a lot of these deathmatch guys are a lot more mellow than you think. I'm sure you guys know that. You expect them to be maniacs because of what they do, but they're actually the mellowest guys in the locker room. It's the non-deathmatch guys that are a lot more hard to handle. What I've noticed, a lot of them are just kind of usually pretty stoked, just because like this is going to be an experience to where I'm not going to see this person again, maybe for 6 months, maybe a year, maybe ever again. So they kind of vibe each other out. It's like dogs, like friendly dogs in a lawn. Like that haven't met before. They're sniffing around, feeling each other out. There's no real bad vibes there, but they're a little skittish kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. One of the most, I don't know. Did you ever meet Brain Damage?
Unfortunately, no. I was not able to. At that point, I hadn't seen any deathmatch live by the time he had passed, so I had never had the opportunity. I was a huge fan. I got the 2-disc best of Brain Damage set back there and all that. I love me some Brain Damage. And
he was.
I've heard great stories about Marv and how nice he was and how approachable and sweet and all that. And complete opposite of what he was in the ring. Like I've heard story after story about Marv, and I wish I would have met him.
Yeah, he was a really, really quiet, nice guy. Very humble. Really, really like happy to be in CZW. He was really excited about it. And he was real. Sometimes I'd pick him up from I kind of helped out with CZW. Like, hey, can you pick someone up on your way up from Dover? So I'd be like, I'm like an hour from Philly, and I might slide. I go right by the airport. So sometimes I'd pick up Brain Damage or Drake or something like that. And I picked up Brain Damage a couple times early, and we just, we get pizza, and he's a real humble guy, just real quiet and like soft-spoken, and just mellow, a real mellow guy. Even Necro, all those guys are like that. Really, none of them are assholes.
None of them.
No, they're all good guys. They were all.
Yeah.
It's the one sport. It's the one sport or form of entertainment where you can be a fan of a guy and follow him for years on the TV or videos, show up at a show and actually like, hey man, you want to go out for dinner? Like, yeah, I'll go with you. Like, you know what I mean? No other event could you couldn't go to your favorite musician and interact with them like you could like some of these deathmatch guys.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if you go to some of them, you say, hey, you guys want to go? I got you at the steakhouse.
Don't go.
They'll go. They're like, yeah, all right, we're going with this guy. Necro will make, Necro Butcher, you can he can meet somebody that day and you think they're friends. They're like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah. I've spent a little time around Necro. Yeah, he's as long as you're cool, he'll act like he's known you for years.
I know.
There's a comfortability there,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a controversial person himself, but he's always been good and nice to be. Him and I killed, I don't know how many beers last time I saw him. It was, from what I was told with the people that were around, it was a staggering amount. But yeah, I've always had a good time. He's always treated me well. What he does is he'll fill his hotel bathtub up with water and pour like 5 bags of ice in there and put like 8 cases of beer in there and then invite all the boys to his room. That's his move.
Oh yeah. He's something else.
Yeah, he was nonstop drinking there.
I know. He's like nobody else. That guy. He's something else now. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun going to these deathmatch tournaments. We're friends with Mickey. Mickey's real friendly too. Mickey will treat you like she knows you from forever. Things like that. They're real good.
Yeah. So August 12th, King of the Kill. Mike's gonna be there.
Yeah, and the day before is the other one.
Unsanctioned Pro, counterfeit.
Unsanctioned Pro. So you got to go to both. If you're going to go out there, you might as well go to both.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to go.
I would say come for the whole experience because you're not going to be bored. It's going to be a lot of community. It'll be a lot of fun, and if you've never been to one of our shows, we have one of the most accepting crowds there is. Like you can come alone and not know anyone and you'll leave with like 50 new friends. Like everyone's very cool. It's a great vibe. Everyone takes care of each other. Everyone looks out for each other. I am very proud of the type of fan I've cultivated with what I do because I've seen other places where people are a little cutthroat or they're kind of shitty to each other. Or,
Really?
You have pockets of fans at war with each other and stuff like that. And you get none of that here. Like everyone's super cool and super inviting. So
yeah. It's kind of like that here. If you go to TOD, the big farm, everybody's just hanging out. Cool, no, yeah. I've never seen a fight at a CZW show. Have you?
Yeah.
Never. Everybody's pretty cool. You can just walk up to people.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
Anyone that's not attending that want to buy any merch, where's the best place to get a merch?
Deathmatch Worldwide has all our shirts, but you could also reach out to me as well. I'll be happy to ship. So yeah, Deathmatch Worldwide, or come talk to me. And then you can catch all our shows on IWTV. The Deathmatch tournament will be streaming live. So if you can't make it out, tune into IWTV. It will be streaming live. It'll start at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, is that a different time zone in Detroit? No.
You guys, where are you at? Delaware?
Yeah. What time is it there now?
About midnight.
Yeah, that's us too. Okay, you're close to the border.
Yeah,
I got it. I'm gonna get a plane ticket.
If I go towards Chicago, if I go through Indiana to Chicago, by the time I hit Chicago, I am in a different time zone. I lose an hour, or I gain an hour. Gain an hour.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I don't know if you can go, but yeah, I'm gonna try to get.
It's gonna be a good show. If not, I'll definitely be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I definitely want to give a shout out to Joe Callis from Outlaw Mud Show. Thanks again for setting this up. I want to give a shout out to Anthony, Deathmatch News guy. He's always been good to us, plugs our stuff. Thank you, Anthony. And of course, Danny Flores, last but not least. Danny always hooks us up. GXH, hardcore death metal band. Check him out. If you like death metal, check out Danny Flores. Anything else?
No. I saw the Misfits last week up in Newark, New Jersey.
I've seen the Misfits a few times.
Yeah.
Back when I was a concert promoter, we had the Misfits, and I got to hang out with Jerry Oldie for a little bit. That was pretty awesome.
Okay. They brought in Danzig.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was original. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I don't think they still get along, but I think they're still willing to play together, you know.
They made some money. They packed that place. Yep. I'm into punk rock. I like a lot of punk rock, all that lot of stuff. Suicidal Tendencies. All that.
Well, just so you know, the bands that are playing, we have a band called Bladder Smasher. It is a punk rock luchador band that sings about nothing but wrestling.
Oh.
We have a band called Backbiter, which is a hardcore style band. And then we have Elbow Deep playing, who does like the Eat the Turnbuckle style stuff where they're hitting each other with tubes and staples and all that. It'll be their only show of the year. So yeah, it'll be extreme music leading up into it. Punk and hardcore and death metal and grind.
When does the first band go on Saturday?
Probably around 3.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, just be an afternoon thing to get the crowd going and having fun, you know, like get the energy up before the tournament, you know.
All right. Well, hope this promotes more. We're gonna get it out. It'll be out there. We got a couple weeks.
When are you dropping that announcement? I don't want to put it out before you drop your announcement.
We're probably dropping Tommy and the other announcement tomorrow. So
okay. Yeah,
that's why I asked. If it's a couple days from now, it's no problem.
No, okay.
We're pumping everything out, and by next week, we're gonna start knocking out brackets and announcing all those. So
you got a final, a certain type of final.
Yes, King of the Kill. It will involve a casket, a real casket.
Oh,
okay.
Which has already been procured, so that is definitely happening. But like I said, there's a lot more in that going on. There's going to be scaffolding, maybe a couple barbed wire tramps. I've been collecting shit for months for this fucking thing.
Okay, good. That's my type of promoter there.
Yeah,
I have so many light tubes that there's no more room in my garage, and if I look to the left of my living room, there's literally trash cans. There's 7 trash cans full of light tubes in my living room. I have to see them while I watch TV.
Oh, okay. God. All right. He's not one of these guys that like the morning of it, he's putting stuff together.
No. I've ordered hundreds of thousands of tacks, razor blades, a couple barbed wire spools. I've got everything. Gussets upon gussets upon. I bought a couple cases of them. I got. If you watched our last show in Chicago, in the Randy West Remington Roar match, she pulled out a gusset plate that was this big.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have a case of them.
Oh.
People don't realize that these things are, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 by 2, 4. There's like 140 little spikes on one thing. And any one little spike would hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. And they like it. I don't know.
Those things are painful as fuck, man. I hate those things.
Good stuff. You have any questions for us?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry, guys.
What in the hell with you?
Fuck me, right?
No.
Oh, another thing. Vendetta is known for Legos, right?
Yeah.
I have 100 pounds of Legos for his match.
Oh.
100 pounds.
Those things are expensive too.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, okay. 100-pound.
Like I said, instead of having more people, have a great crop of people and give them everything they need to make it the craziest thing possible.
Sheesh.
So, I like this interview is good. He really is. He's proud of his tournament, and he wants.
Hold on. Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah.
We're still on.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. After a while.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you could talk more.
He can see us.
No, I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
you can see us.
I can see you. I can hear you. Nothing's changed.
I'll get it up. You can
is it taping?
Yeah, it's taping.
It's still taping.
Yeah.
What I like is he is. Look, I've been to a lot of deathmatch tournaments, and sometimes they're herky jerky. They're like the guy might not have enough stuff, or they're like putting stuff. You sound like you are putting everything you got into this thing, and you want to make it good. Like it can't not be good.
I'm looking at this as if it was my last show ever. It won't be, but like I wanted this to be like if I stopped promoting tomorrow, I had this show. You know, this is going to be my milestone show. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this since day one. I've put it off because I knew I wasn't there yet. I knew I didn't have the right people. I knew I wanted everything to be where it needed to be to really fucking deliver on this thing. and I'm firing on all cylinders on this thing. I am going goddamn ballistic to make this thing the biggest, best possible thing I can provide for you fans.
Well, I got to go now. No, I mean, I'm not even pulling you. Like, I'm going to try to get a ticket tomorrow. Detroit's easy, but it's outside. There's no way it could be inside then, right? If something happened with the
yes, there is. We have run shows there several times inside. Our show last November, I believe, was in there. It was called Death Right.
Okay.
So heaven forbid something happens, we can move it inside. However, if weather is going to be an issue, God forbid, we'll probably look into an alternative on like maybe renting a gigantic canopy or something like that, as opposed to moving inside. Either way, it'll go down. It'll happen as planned. We'll make sure.
Good. Okay, well that's good. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna try to get out there. I just wanted to. Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds very good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a great tournament. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you for putting that together for us.
Thank you. No, I mean it's been a labor of love, man. Like some of these shows I put together, like sometimes you get on the sluggish side. Sometimes there are a lot of problems start arising or whatnot. But this one has just been like I've nose to the grindstone. Even when something pops up, I'm like, no, nothing's fucking this up. I'm doing this thing, and I've been literally planning this thing since January.
Wow.
Like meticulously planning this thing, working hard behind the scenes. I started collecting shit that I put aside that I wasn't even using in other shows just for this show. Like there's a spot in my garage. This is King of the Kill. All this. And
I like the name too.
Half of my living room now.
Yeah, I like the name King of the Kill.
Thank you.
It's different.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. It's great. That's all I have.
Yeah, we're good, man. Thanks for doing the interview.
Chris, thank you so much.
More people see it.
Anytime, guys.
Man.
I always make myself available to anybody. So anytime you guys want me on, you got me.
Okay, and if you want any of your guys to do an interview, to promote the show or whatever, just send them our way. We're good.
Absolutely. I'll send you some personalities.
Okay, good. Absolutely. All right, man.
Chris, thank you so much.
I'm gonna try to see you in a few weeks then. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
You're gonna see me in a few weeks.
Okay, yeah.
Thank
you. Okay,
you won't regret it.
Gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an inch, man, I'm making. I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top of this.